Students, family, friends, please join me in welcoming Benj, Pasek, and Justin Paul. It's here.
Hi. It's here. We were afraid this might not be here when we turned the page, so we're really glad that it's here. Thank you, Dean Dworkin and members of the faculty and administration, to all the families and friends who are gathered here, and most of all, welcome and congratulations to our excited, anxious, accomplished, I'm sure exhausted graduates, the University of Michigan class of 2017. We're so proud of you guys.
We're so honored to be here to celebrate on this occasion with you because it is U of M's bicentennial year. And with it being a bicentennial, we thought it was proper to try to say something smart and meaningful that you try to do at these commencement addresses. So we tried to just Google what happened in 1817.
So we Googled that.
We did.
And we found out a couple things. So the New York Stock Exchange was founded in 1817. That's interesting, sort of. Then again, this is a music school graduation. No one here cares about math or ever expects to make any money. So it's not really relevant.
So we thought, what else? Okay, not much, except that we discovered that in 1817, in politics, it was known as the era of good feelings, which is eerily similar to today's political climate.
Really.
Shout out to Kellyanne Conway, right? Come on, guys.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. Congrats. If 1817 marked the last time a sane person ever described politics as an era of good feelings, we think it's a perfect description of our time at the University of Michigan's Hogwarts Academy of Music, Theater, and Dance. Because this is a magical place, as we all know.
So while we certainly don't have 200 years of knowledge or experience to try to impart here, we do have a solid decade where we have spent a solid decade trying to accomplish a few things before all of you young whippersnappers try to take all of our jobs and then take over the music industry. But in an effort to set ourselves up to at least be able to one day take credit for all of your success, we hope to impart a few things that we've learned along the way. So to get to our few words of wisdom, we're first going to tell you our Michigan story.
Is this working so far, this back and forth thing? Is it,
yeah.
You can hear us? Okay, good.
Right.
Adorable.
Good job.
Okay. So we arrived here on campus in 2003. We were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We were eager to sculpt ourselves into the finest musical theater actors this side of Lake Huron. And we arrived with the same dreams really as any millennial. We wanted to attend a great school and then become immediately successful in our field without having to work that hard. Very straightforward dreams, I think. So in our case, that dream was to sing and dance and act on Broadway. We were going to be what everyone here probably knows is called as a triple threat. And we knew that a BFA in musical theater from U of M was going to get us there. So, it's still me.
Continued,
It's still me. So, we arrived to campus equipped with our trunks of original Broadway cast recordings and our newly purchased dance belts. We could go into detail about what that is if you don't know, but it's
intimate apparel.
Intimate apparel. So, the two of us actually met the first day of freshman orientation, and we quickly bonded over our shared love of both Biggie Smalls and Bernadette Peters.
What?
So, day one of school, we show up to ballet class. We're ready to become the Gryffindors we knew we were meant to be. We walk in, we look around, and we realize that actually we are just straight up Hufflepuff at best.
We're not even giving you Ravenclaw.
Not even giving. So, okay, this is the picture. We're wearing sweatpants over our dance belts. Everyone else is like in beautiful, proper ballet tights and looking amazing. We're the only people in sweatpants. The teacher is yelling out French words that are apparently dance moves. And everyone is doing these across-the-floor routines. For those of you who don't know, it's like you're in one end of the room, and you dance all the way, and you get to the other end of the room. So this is a terrifying prospect for us. So over the course of the semester, we figured out they would start the music, the pianist would go, and we were very close to the exit doors of the Power Center rehearsal room. So we figured out how to basically bolt out the exit doors, run quickly around the room in the snow, run around the building, come back in through the front doors, get to the other end of the classroom without anyone ever knowing that we never went across the floor and danced at all. This actually sometimes did work. I'm so sorry, Judy Rice, if you're here. But overall, I think we actually did sort of try to learn, and even against our millennial instincts, we actually tried hard. But it just didn't seem in the cards for us to be doing pirouettes and I literally don't know these words. I still don't know what they were. Whatever they were, we could not do them. So maybe we weren't going to sing and dance and act on Broadway. That's okay. We could still sing and act on Broadway. Double threats, baby.
Double threats. Okay, so we doubled down on our efforts to be actors, and then came sophomore year. So that's the time at Michigan where students really begin to define themselves and determine the course for the rest of the years on campus. The time when the non-acting, singing actors of the bunch might actually get cast in the spring musical, right? So we prepped and we auditioned and we waited for the cast list to be posted for City of Angels the musical, and then the moment of truth was upon us and we were cast. I landed the prestigious role of man with camera, and Justin was cast as backup dancer / coroner.
It was a transcendent performance, if I say so myself.
So the first day of rehearsal, the director, Professor Mark Madama, who if you're here, we love you, he gets the cast together and he gives one of those like really encouraging speeches, and he says, I want you to know that every role is important. There are no small parts, there are only small actors, and every role in City of Angels matters. And then he looks directly at me and he goes, even the man with camera. And that's the moment that you know that your part really might not matter at all. So at this point, we're really beginning to question who we were, what we are, what our actual strengths are, what this is all leading to. Is it too late to, transfer to LSA? The law quad is really pretty.
Had we been ignoring the charms of the kinesiology department all this time,
These things go through your head, But it's interesting because all the while, during those first 2 rocky years, there was something else that we had been doing completely voluntarily, locked away in the bowels of the Earl V. Moore building in the practice rooms, banging away at a piano. We were 2 friends with ADHD, and for fun, and maybe to distract ourselves from the fact that we were actually horrible ballet dancers, we started writing songs together. So by the time that the City of Angels spring rolled around our sophomore year, when we had gone from potential triple threats to hopeful double threats to literally 0 threats at all, not a single threat to be found, an idea occurred to us. If nobody wants us to star in their show, maybe we should just write our own.
So what we did was we booked the Carytown Concert House, 99 seats. We sent out a mass umich.edu email to our whole department saying, hey, we're having a show, everyone come to our show. And we reached out to other disgruntled members of the musical theater department who had either not been cast in City of Angels or got terrible roles like us. And we were like, hey, you guys are bitter, right? We're like, we're bitter too, so let's all be bitter and put on a show. Now, here's the thing. We had not actually written that show yet. But with the pressure of setting a date, inviting our fellow students to come, we then had to actually write it. And it's interesting. This next thing is sort of ironic and ultimately became a useful lesson to us. All of our classes in acting and voice that we thought had sort of failed to help us become stars in a show, they actually gave us the exact knowledge we needed to start writing them. We found that sort of surprising and revelatory, but it was a really interesting takeaway. So on April 3rd, 2005, we put up our show, Edges. This was our sophomore year, and it was very, very far from perfect, but it resonated with those 99 people.
And our mothers.
We're here today. Hi, Mom. And it was the beginning of something. And most importantly, it set us on a new, unexpected path. We had found one single potential threat. We were single threats. And we were something. We were now songwriters, which was, in fact, what we, I think, had the potential to be all along. And obviously, it's who we are, and it's what we do today.
Now, you're probably asking yourself, why did I just have to listen to this tawdry tale of dance belts and being failed actors? And hopefully the takeaway here is something that we took away when we were in all of your shoes.
This is where it gets serious.
It gets serious now, yeah. So now we spend our days writing theater songs, and Brent Wagner, who ran Michigan's musical theater department while we were here, had a theory about theater songs. In every class every year, he tried to teach us what makes theater songs special, and he said that theater songs are verbs. They are all about action, and they are all about change. They start in one place, and they end in another. They move, and they keep moving, and they keep telling a story. And while other kinds of songs, like pop songs, just repeat, and they're about one thing, theater songs pivot, and they morph, and they continue to move and evolve.
During our first 2 years at Michigan, we were not at all behaving like Professor Wagner's beloved theater songs. We were not verbs. We looked at ourselves as nouns.
I'm Benj, and I'm an actor, and that's what I'm going to be.
I'm Justin, and I'm a singer. So our narratives and identities, they were fixed. So we got stuck, and we hit roadblocks. I think we were trying to force ourselves to fit into these sort of box-like definitions of who we had to be, and that meant every action we took was in service of that definition, of that noun. Everything we did was about reinforcing who we had to be. I'm an actor, I'm a singer. It was only when we let go of those nouns and just focused on a verb that we got unstuck. And we started to think, okay, what are we passionate about doing? What could we do to change our story, to evolve, to grow, pivot, and change? And through the action of just doing and making and creating, moving forward, we found completely new nouns to be. All of a sudden, we became songwriters. And that was something we had never intended and never imagined before coming to Michigan.
So we encourage you, dear graduates, don't wake up in the morning and think, who am I and what do I want to be? Think about what do I want to do and what do I want to go out and make. Don't think about what I want to be someday, but think about what do I want to do today. And in the doing, you actually find your identity. Through the verb, you find the noun that you're ultimately meant to be.
Now, obviously, everyone here, we're here as nouns today. You're violinists and organists and music theorists and composers and dancers and singers and all kinds of makers of art, and you're insanely talented, and we're blown away by everything that's gone on this stage.
And we want your resume.
Yes. But as your path unfolds, try to remain open to those verbs that sort of bubble up inside of you. Because while what you're passionate about may always remain the same, the verb that bubbles up, it could take you somewhere entirely new within your passion. That verb can change your story. That verb can start you in one place and deliver you to an entirely other one. We came to the University of Michigan to be Broadway actors because really it was just because we were in love with music and theater. We loved the art form. We didn't quite realize that's what it was, but that's what it was. That's the reason. And then a verb that we finally said yes to, songwriting, writing songs, making things, it took us from one noun to the right noun.
So go out and go forward. You are the architect of your own life, and you have the power to design, define, and then constantly redefine your own way. Don't just be an identity. Go and be a story. A story that starts here with this family of friends in the School of Music practice rooms and the sweaty dance halls with your sweaty dance belts.
Very sweaty.
With endless bus rides between campuses and randomly profound conversations by a piano-shaped pond. It is a story that will continue to evolve if you let it and if you're open to it. And sitting here on the precipice of receiving a degree from obviously the greatest music school in the entire world, the possibility and potential for what your story will be is limitless and completely infinite.
So, congratulations to the University of Michigan School of Music, Theater, and Dance, class of 2017. We cannot wait to see what you guys go out and do.
Congrats, guys.
Go Blue! So, we've had the great honor of actually being able to write some special musical material about Michigan for this event, and we would love to share that with you guys now. And you haven't heard it yet. Calm down.
It was like my mom just aggressively clapping.
Start it. But in addition to that, we also want to share with you just like a few snippets of our work from La La Land and Dear Evan Hansen, and we want to share that because we feel like everything that we've created and written in these last 10 years since we graduated, it felt like we were able to create all of that because of what we learned at Michigan and the people who taught us that.
Now it says, Justin, go to piano while Benj continues to speak. So we were sent out of here by an incredibly supportive faculty that fostered such a nurturing and inspiring environment. So we dedicate these songs to all of our professors, and we perform them now in honor of this extraordinary graduating class of 2017. And we'll be joined by equally extraordinary graduates of 2017 as well.
City of stars, are you shining just for me? City of stars, there's so much that I can't see. Who knows? Is this the start of something wonderful and new? Or one more dream that I cannot make true? Here's to the ones who dream, foolish as they may seem. Here's to the hearts that ache. Here's to the mess we made. On the outside, always looking in. Will I ever be more than I've always been? 'Cause I'm tapping on the glass. I'm waving through a window. I try to speak, but nobody can hear. So I wait around for an answer to appear while I'm watching people pass, waving through a window. Can anybody see? Is anybody waving back at me? September on State Street. Just imagine what the next 4 years will bring. Wide-eyed, worried that I'd forget something essential.
How do I get back to Berkeley? Is Michigan time really a thing?
Carry it on, carry it on.
The hallowed homes and the ivy walls, colored by the golden markers. I'm hovering hardly, I never knew where. Another part of me has just begun.
Carry it on, carry it on. Those fishbowl nights, the CCRB.
This 300-person family. No matter the road, no matter the winding way, a piece of